Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I'm very glad to see the faces of my pupils in English in grade 6 SPED GT. So are you excited for our activity this afternoon?
Yes.
Very good. So are you eager to learn for our new learning this afternoon?
Yes.
Exactly. So this afternoon class, we will have a debate activity. So do you know what is a debate? Very good. So it is a form of conversation wherein two sides are arguing or discussing about the issue. So this afternoon, our issue to be resolved or our proposition would be resolved that English language be implemented in all public schools. So are you ready for your arguments this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, we have our negative side. Please stand. And we have also from the affirmative side. Everybody, sit down. So this afternoon class, we have here also our judges, meaning to say this is in a form of contest. You will be learning and at the same time you will be gaining awards after our lesson or your learning. Now, our first judge is Mrs. Nancy Y. San Juan. Our second judge is Mrs. Jordan Humanto. And our last judge for this afternoon is no other than Sir Romel Figueroa. Are you now ready for this
Yes.
activity?
Yes.
Okay, I want to see your smiles. Okay, so I will now give the chair to our debate moderator, no other than Justin Vivanco.
To our noble and august assembly, a pleasant afternoon to all. English language has been considered as international language, for most countries use English as their medium of instruction and communication. The need to be proficient in the use of English among non-native speakers has become a global phenomenon. However, some of the educators believe that the use of English in schools will only put the poor students at a disadvantage, because English will slow their intellectual development. It will alienate the students from their cultural heritage. The convergence of these ideas brought the two teams to discuss this matter over a debate. Ladies and gentlemen, let us witness our youth speak. The proposition in this house for debate would be resolved that the English-speaking policy be implemented in all public schools. On my left is the affirmative side with their team speakers, namely Jeffrey Jesus, Kenneth Fabregas, and Artelin Hemperoso. On my right is the negative side with their team speakers, namely Irene Estrada, Margaret Sorineo, and Harty Hemperoso. Each speaker has given 3-minute time to present the idea or argument. Our timekeeper will notify you if you have consumed your allotted time. We will start from the affirmative side. First speaker, Jeffrey Jesus.
Honorable members of the Board of Judges, classmates, our teacher, I am the first speaker of the affirmative side, and I firmly believe that English must be used as medium of communication in the school. Allow me to state my arguments. Since the Philippines embraced the English language from the American colonizers, the Philippines today is the 5th largest English-speaking country in the world, and second in the continent of Asia. Filipinos should be proud of this because English is the world language, the lingua franca of the modern era. But the question is, how will the Philippine government maintain and improve the standard and the competitiveness of its people, which is highly needed in emerging, fast-growing, local, and international industries? The answer simply lies in the proposition. We must practice the use of English language in the school. According to Bernardo Villegas, the youth have all the chances to speak and listen to the Filipino language in their day-to-day lives, such as in conversation with members of the family, friends, going to movies, and etc. The majority of the youth, however, do not have enough occasion in their normal lives to to speak nothing but English.
Let us welcome our first speaker for the negative side, Irene Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, the negative side believe that English as a medium of instruction in school must not be implemented. Education under Secretary Ramon Bagani still sides with the implementation of EO 210 in schools due to his belief that it will help increase the number of English proficient students in the Philippines. However, some of the educators still believe that the use of English in schools will only put the poor students at a disadvantage because English will slow their intellectual development, alienate the students from their cultural heritage. It will weaken their emotional security and self-worth, and inferiority complex may emerge in the lower class. But these possible results didn't affect the beliefs of those who support EO 210, especially when news from the Kalina district emerged showing the 300% of improvement of the pupils after using English as second language in teaching. Some followers of EO 210 believe that removing English in the teaching system will only cause some bad effects like lower income students will never learn to speak the language. Only the children of well-to-do families could find the alternative ways to learn, and the economic growth will suffer to the shrinking number of people who are proficient. Let us welcome our second speaker for the affirmative side, Kenneth John Fabregas.
To our Board of Judges, teacher, classmates, welcome to this debate. Let me state my arguments. If two people with different native languages communicate with each other, chances are they will be speaking in English. The attitude of your students towards English, as with any other subject, is very important. If students like English, they will strongly motivated in class and be easy to teach. Students often think, why must I study English? A good way to motivate your students towards English is to teach them the positive aspects of learning English. Here are some points you can use. It is the international language. We can speak and become friends with people from all over the world. We can write to people in other countries and travel abroad. We can sing English songs, watch movies and TV in English. We can read magazines and books from other countries. English is used every day in Japan. Students may need to speak English during their working lives. We can use the internet to gain access to lots of information written in English. We can learn more about the world and foreign cultures. Learning another language helps us to understand other people and their way of thinking.
Let us welcome our second speaker for the negative side, Margaret Serenio.
Good day, Bob. Let me state my argument with this matter. As was said before, ang hindi magmahal sa klinika ay hindi pa ang amoy sa nabahas lang. It is actually funny to hear this line, especially if one does not know Rizal meant when he said it. As a matter of fact, we were already taught of what the lines means even at an early age. As a ponder on the line, I asked myself, why it's so important to love our own language? How it's really important to us. We have a long history of struggling to teach ourselves our own languages. It even took us borders before we actually have our own official language. To have an own official language is a proof that we really are free nation. Our love for our own language will or can be diminished by the fact that we may prefer using English in every means there is. At a certain point, if this happens, it is not impossible to completely abolish Filipino and replace it with English. Thus, Filipino will be highly inferior to English or worse. We will no longer have a language for our priority will now be placed on the power of the English language in our future as a nation. Will be determined by it. Thus, we will be manipulated by a language that is not native to us, it's not ours. Actually, it is the same as saying that we are Afghan.
Let us welcome our third speaker for the affirmative side, Ardeline Henderoso.
Members of the Board of Judges, classmates, a pleasant day to all. The affirmative side obviously believes that English must be implemented as a second language, not only instructions, but also in communications. Let me state my arguments. The effects of globalization had certainly have an effect on English becoming the medium of business. It makes you more employable by opening doors to many more career options and connects you to more globally recognized companies. In the US, 69% of people who surveyed who spoke English as a second language said English was the most important language for them to learn. According to the research from the US, those who speak English as a second language can command a wage increase of up to 30%, while those who have mastered it can earn 67% more. As the US is a leader in technical innovation behind China, the number of rules available to English speakers has increased, and US companies are looking abroad for market growth more than ever before. When it comes to employability, having a second language is immensely valuable, and being bilingual will put your application ahead for monolingual candidates. And the employment options available to those having English as a second language will only increase. Meaning to say, English will make us globally competent.
Let us welcome our third speaker for the negative side, Hardy Henderoso.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are just my judgments, and no one can really tell what will or can happen to the Philippines and to its people if Filipino will be replaced by English. In fact, it will be ridiculous to think about being colonized again. I am not saying that there is a big chance for this to happen, but what I am saying is there are consequences in everything we do, so we have to prioritize the things that are closer to our hearts, and of course, consider what may be practical for everyone, rather than thinking of things that are just beneficial to a small percentage of the people. Honestly, I agree with Osler when he said that we are all bilingual. The power of the English language may be strong, but our native tongue is much powerful because we grew up speaking the language we know best. It is actually safe to say that our language will stay for life. However, we have to love it and never think of abandoning it, because as long as there are people using it and fighting for its existence, it will stay for as long as we want it to.
This time, the House will give you a time for rebuttal. Each team must be represented by a speaker. Each speaker is given a maximum of 3 minutes to speak the case. Let us start with the affirmative side.
Good day. I will give you reasons why the affirmative side will win this debate. Speaking English as medium of instruction and communication can increase self-confidence. Speaking a second language in front of other people takes courage and is often a transformative experience for people. A person who was too shy to share their ideas in a meeting or conversation will grow being shy. In a global business, offering customer service in a language your client understands is a must. Customer service is about more than just a call center call. Effective language training for all client-facing staff ensures customers have a constantly excellent experience whatever their point of contact with your organization. English language is an essential part of any professional development, and the benefits will be more to us. Thank you.
Well, I cannot blame the affirmative side if they judge their team as winning. But I'm sure my final response will make them realize that my team is really the real intellectual experience and society when learning a new thing, whether it is martial arts or mathematics. The first of it is new language. Non-English speaker experience deficiency at being to speak the language properly for a long period of time, and can experience anxiety when it comes to getting it right. Another reason why we win in this debate is the cultural identity of Filipino people. This country of mine has become independent from English colonizers, and it is impossible for them to take it back again. Our language has been the witness for gaining freedom, and language cannot be replaced by any other languages, including English. Maraming salamat.
Debating teams, you may now cross the house.
Congratulations to all of you. Everyone deserves a big round of applause. Well, before we will move on, I will ask the two sides of this house, the affirmative side and the negative side. How was the experience? Awesome? Okay, very good. So actually, class, our activity does not end here. So this time, we will award the best speakers for both sides. One best speaker for the affirmative side and one best speaker for the negative side. And after awarding the individual awards, we will give to you the best team for this debate. Are you all excited?
Yes!
Okay, I guess everyone is ready. So I would like to request one representative from our Honorable Board of Judges to please announce now the result for this debate. So I would like to request Sir Romel Figueroa. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon to everyone. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. We are very happy and we are very glad because we can see future lawyers coming from this institution, Lugan Central ES. So, ang galing-galing ng mga speakers. Mahirap pumili kung sino talaga, pero mayroon kasi tayong tatlong judges, so mayroon talagang napili. So our best speaker from the affirmative side, congratulations. Para siya economizer.
Jaife.
Okay, so the best speaker in the affirmative side is Jaife T. De Jesus. And for the negative side, Irene May Lasperia.
Okay, so after that, before we will award the best team, okay? So we will have first, or I want to hear the insights or the reflections of my pupils based on the debate. So, anybody who wants to speak up? Yes, Tem? You do it first.
Firstly, if every Filipino agrees with the knowledge to speak English, then we must be more proud of ourselves. Whether we admit or deny it, a person who is fluent in English appears to have an edge to a person who speaks Filipino fluently. There is a misconception that a person who speaks foreign language well, then that person has a very high intellectual capacity.
Very good. So, from this side, who wants to give his or her own reflection? Yes?
Although we are in the K-12 program of our government, but we should not stop from learning the English language because, aside from it, it is the global spoken language. This will help us in fluency.
Very good. From this group,
Secondly, it will now be easier for us to keep up with the development of filmmaking and songwriting in foreign countries. Imagine if every Filipino will now appreciate watching Hollywood films just because they now understand it. Songs will be felt by heart by the mass because they can now fully understand its lyrics. Further, in higher education, if you are fluent in English, your comprehension is very high too.
Very good. So, from this area, who wants to give his or her own reflection or insight?
We know that English is a global language. However, learning English can put barriers between and among peoples. For example, if you're eloquent in English, then speaking other peoples from far-flung places can hardly understand you.
Okay, from this area.
Thirdly, Filipinos will have a better understanding of the word recorded, since most of the news, speeches, and announcements given by the government to the public are stated in English. If English is better understood by each and everyone, including those who were not able to get a good education, it will now be easier for them to react and have a stand to stand on these matters. Having considered all this, English may be an instrument to our country's progress.
Okay, it's an instrument to our country's progress. And from this row, or from this area rather,
I learned that our country must not neglect our culture. We know from the start that the Philippines has carried Filipino language even in the history. So, if we use English as our medium instruction, they will seem like renouncing our own language.
okay, very good. So anyway, that's the arguments or the ideas from the different sides. So this time, let me call again our one of our judges, Sir Romel Figueroa, to award the major award for this afternoon, the best team. Okay, is it the affirmative? Okay, or the negative side?
Again, good afternoon. Ang nanalo po si Sir Romel, si Ma'am Nancy, at saka si Ma'am Jordan. Kami po ay Pilipino. So congratulations, negative side.
Congratulations to all of you. I know each team made a very good preparation out of this debate. So for our activity this afternoon, I want you to get a one whole piece of paper and write your own insights regarding the debate